Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another video here. Today I have a Topic Tuesday topic. This one is probably from a while ago. Sometimes I just go and I scroll through the Instagram until one kind of catches my eye, so I don't remember when this one was supposed to be. But the beauty of Topic Tuesday is I'm probably not even posting this on a Tuesday. Yeah, I have this scheduled for the 28th, so that's a Saturday. So this is Topic Saturday now. There's topics, we can do them when we want, right? There's no Topic Tuesday police that's gonna come barge down my door, right? So today's topic is nail polish pet peeves. And I believe this was a topic many years ago, and I'm pretty sure I did it, but I was like, I want to complain a little bit. So if you don't like videos that you perceive to be negative just because someone's talking about like something they don't like, this is probably not the video for you. Every time I do a video where I'm like, I don't like this thing, but I'm being petty and I know it's unreasonable, people will comment and be like, I hate negative videos. And I'm like, well, first of all, those types of videos actually do really well compared to like other types of topics. So blame the algorithm for rewarding, bad behavior. But second of all, like, this is not serious. This is so petty and it's so silly. And, if any of these things are things you do, don't feel bad, because some of my complaints I'm also guilty of. Like, it's just, like, pet peeves are so inconsequential. They're not a big deal. It's like, that's why they're pet peeves, So I think I have like 10 pet peeves that relate to nail polish in some way, whether it be the polish itself, the brands, content, and content creation. I've got kind of a mix, a little grab bag for you. So let's hop right in to pet peeve number 1. So my first pet peeve actually is what sparked me to want to make this video in the first place. One of my friends messaged me and she was like, oh my gosh, every single video in my subscription feed right now is, I think it was the new Star Wars Mooncat collection. And I was like, yeah, mine too, actually. I was like, I hate when every single creator drops essentially the same video all at once. So it's like, I open my subscription feed and there's like 9 Holo Taco or 9 Mooncat collection videos. And I know that not the creator's fault, because there's an embargo when you receive goods that are like, they have a specific release date. There's an embargo on them and you're not allowed to post them until a certain date and time. You can't show them to anybody or you can get in trouble. And typically they just will never send you stuff again and stuff like that. But there are sometimes greater consequences. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody in the nail polish world take those types of consequences. But I understand why all the videos go out exactly on the release time. It's just like, there's so many that suddenly I feel so overwhelmed by the content that I'm like, I don't even want to watch any of these. I don't even want to buy the collection anymore. I don't know. I didn't even really like the moon. I'm not a big Star Wars person. So I was like, there's no Yoda polish. Why am I even here? Yoda's like the only character I care about. And actually, I like R2-D2 and C-3PO. But that's it. And like, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, just, watch your favorite creators. But it's one of those where, I don't know about you guys, but if I get too bombarded by too many people telling me, you should do this one thing, or you should go see this one movie, or you should watch this one show, or read this one book, suddenly I'm just like, I'm like a petulant child. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that ever. And so then like 10 years later, I finally hop on the train and I'm like, okay, that was pretty good actually. And I wish I'd watched it 10 years ago, kind of a thing. So it's really my own stubbornness. And I don't know why I'm like this, but I just am. So whenever that happens, I get a little frustrated because I'm like, well, first of all, I don't have time to watch 9 hours of YouTube content on one collection. And at some point it starts to get repetitive. So it's like, you have to be really selective. Like, who am I going to watch? Whose opinion do I want to hear the most? And like, then I feel bad about it. I'm like, well, I don't want to leave them out. So then I just don't watch any of them, which is not good either. My next pet peeve, and listen, if you do this, like, it's fine. This is, again, I feel like this is the one that's going to make the most people mad, I think. But it's when people post a picture and they're like, just finished these nails, haven't cleaned them up yet, but couldn't wait to take the picture. I'm like, really? You couldn't wait 5 minutes to clean your cuticle line before posting the picture? Like, you have that little focus on like time in your life that you couldn't just wait 5 extra minutes and do the final task? I don't know. Like, this is something in my like day-to-day life too, where it's like Rob will do like 90% of a task he'll empty the dishwasher and he'll put away some of the dishes, and then he gets distracted and he wanders away, and I'm like, why did you do 95% of the task and then call it good? Like, do 100% of everything you're doing. And I know not everybody has that mentality. Some people just like to do a little here and there, and Rob has ADHD, so he just wanders away in the middle of no matter what he's doing. So I can't blame him for it, but it's like you actively chose to take a picture and you've got like a pool of nail polish just like everywhere. And why did you post that? It looks crazy. If there was like a weird cut, it's because the maintenance guy came to fix my sink. They have to order a whole new sink because my sink started leaking all over all my stuff underneath in the cabinets. And so yeah, anyways, where was I? No cleanup pics. So I know some people kind of like, they like to do this thing where they wait until it's all dry and then they'll take a shower and they'll like scrape off like whatever's on their skin. But to me, I'm like, then you don't have that crisp, clean, like perfectly curved cuticle line that you can get with a brush. And, not everybody's tastes are the same. Like, people say to me that my cuticle gap is too wide. I feel like I've gotten a lot better with it. I've taken people's feedback and I've tried to get a little closer to the cuticle line. I don't know. I know that's like a big pet peeve for some people. For me, it's messy cuticles, which is why I'm so far away from the cuticle line. But I digress. Speaking of posting pics, one thing I really hate, I'm not even anti-feet, right? Like, I don't hate seeing feet. I know some people get kind of like squigged out by like looking at another person's foot. I'm not that weird. But I just hate when I'm just casually scrolling through Facebook groups and somebody's like full on like painted my toes today, and they post the most like unflattering, unaesthetic, hideous picture of their pedicure. And I'm like, first of all, stop posting your feet for free. We've been over this. How many times do I have to tell you, old man? It's like one of those. Stop posting your feet for free. But also, if you're gonna do it, at least like take it from an artful shot. Make it like a nice angle. It's like, it's always just like, you just see like the toes like cut off and they're like sticking up and it just looks like weird. I don't know. Just don't post your feet pics online, bro. Unless somebody's paying you. They don't need that. But then you get all these people in the comments who are either like really supportive and they're like, wow, that looks great. Or there's like the other end where people are like really, really mad at you that you posted the feet pics. And I'm like, I'm not like enraged. I'm just kind of like, why? Like, why did you do that? But there are some people who get like legitimately angry in the comments, and then like the supportive people are fighting the angry people, and it's just devolved. And it's like all this over a picture of somebody's foot on Facebook. It's wild. Like, Facebook is like watching adults turn into toddlers. I swear. Like, if you've ever, I used to get overnight oats or oats overnight. I don't remember what the brand is, but they're just like packets of oats with like protein, and you mix it with milk and whatever. And I joined the Facebook group, and you would not even know that these are like 30, 40, 50-year-old men and women, because they all act like giant babies in this group. I just don't understand what it is about the internet that makes adults act like children. It's wild. But stop posting your feet pics online, please. My next pet peeve is related to brands who I hate when brands dupe themselves over and over and over again. Like, I hate when I get a polish and I'm like, I can find an almost exact copy of this polish from the same brand. OPI? Looking at you. OPI does this. Essie to a certain extent with a lot of those like baby beige pinks. Even like Halo Taco, in the past couple of years, they've discontinued polishes only to bring out polishes that look almost exactly the same as the one they just discontinued, which I think is really odd. And I understand why they do it, because, there's the collectors who want everything. And when the one polish, like polish A, the sales are down, and so they're like, okay, we'll get rid of this and we'll bring in polish B that looks almost exactly the same, but it's new. And so everybody's little like magpie brain, mine included, they're like, I gotta have that one because it's a little bit different. The name is different. So you buy them both and then you get them and you're like, oh, these are the same. Why did I do that? So I don't love when brands dupe themselves, but I think like I said at the beginning of this one, the biggest offender is OPI when it comes to their red polishes. I feel like OPI has like 900 of the same red, all under a different name. This next one is like, there's a fine line with this one, but it's IP for the sake of IP. And what I mean by that is like IP, intellectual property, when a brand does a collaboration with some kind of big name. So like, for example, I said, Mooncat, they're one who does a ton of IP stuff. So they had like Star Wars, they did Nightmare Before Christmas, they did Powerpuff Girls. Back when they were Live, Love, Polish, they did SpongeBob, which I got that one. Mooncat is not the one I'm talking about, though, and I don't really have a specific brand, but it's one of those you know it when you see it kind of things, where brands will release something that is inspired by some kind of show or book or some kind of pop culture phenomenon, and you can tell it's just so surface level, it is so unresearched. And I guess for me, who is like a big, like, I used to, especially back when I was on Tumblr, I was a big fandom girly. Like, I was really invested in fandoms, it was like my life. I loved certain like Star Trek, and I really loved Supernatural and Sherlock and, that kind of stuff. And so you could always tell when somebody who was making a product was also really into that pop culture thing. And you could also tell when somebody was just doing it for almost like a quick cash grab, where it was very surface level. They didn't understand the source material, that kind of stuff. So it's always frustrating to see when like you get really excited for something because they're like, oh, they're going to release, a collection from one of my favorite shows. And then it drops and you're like, this doesn't look anything like I imagined. And part of that might just be like own personal taste and preference. But I feel like I see this more in makeup for sure. Like, do you guys remember when, if you guys are in the makeup scene, I'm not so much anymore, but I remember MAC Makeup released a Sims themed palette. It was like a 9-shadow palette, and it was the most boring, lame, beige palette. It was like clearly nothing to do with The Sims. So it's like stuff like that, where it's just like clearly a cash grab. Nobody understood the assignment, and yet, people who are fans are going to buy it anyways because they feel an attachment to that kind of cultural phenomenon, which sucks, because then we're just rewarding bad behavior. But it's like, I'm not blaming the consumer necessarily. Like, I know people just want to be happy, My next pet peeve is like types of release schedules from brands. So I hate when brands either release way too frequently or incredibly infrequently, which, I just want them to be my happy medium, apparently. But I hate when, there are some brands that have very structured release schedules. So it's like Orly, we always know we're going to get 4 mainline collections a year minimum, 2 breathable collections a year minimum. And then here and there, they'll release little extras like toppers or trios here and there. And those are always fun little surprises. But for sure, we know we're going to get our seasonal collections. Back when China Glaze was still making stuff, it's like we always knew we were going to get our spring collection. We always knew we were going to get our Halloween collection, our Christmas collection. Like, I like when a brand is a little bit more structured like that. And if a brand doesn't have structure, releasing every, month or 2 months or something like that, I like that. But I hate when a brand is like, it almost feels like every other week there's a new release and you're just like, what is going on? I can't keep up, which you don't need to keep up, but like, it's the whole collector's mentality. Or there are some brands that they release like so sparsely that I just forget they exist. And I hate that too, because it's like, I don't want to forget that they exist, especially if I really like that brand. So I just wish that brands would just release their release schedule in the year. They'd be like, hey, this is what we're expecting to put out. And I know that's not feasible, especially for indies on a smaller scale. Like, you have a lot of unexpected things that happen. And I work in an industry where supply chain is a word we throw around a lot. So I understand that it's not a reliable thing. You don't always know when you're going to get stuff, even though you're promised it by a certain date. So I know we don't always get the ingredients we need for the collections to release on time. So I know it's not like this is like a first world problem. These are all first world problems. But yeah, so I just hate when brands release too frequently or infrequently, because it's like either you can't keep up or you forget they exist. My next one is a polish pickup related pet peeve. And I can't stand when like they release a theme and then either like there's 10 polishes that all used the same theme idea, like sub theme. Like, so for example, let me make this clear. So it's like, say the theme was food and then 10 polishes were like, we're choosing macaroni and cheese theme polishes. Like, I hate that. I want like a more diverse array because then everything kind of ends up looking the same. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes you get two brands that are like, they use the same kind of inspiration, but they went two completely different ways with it. But still, I like the variety of the theme. Or brands just completely go off book and they're like, they see how far they can stretch the theme and they're like, yeah, we're not going to adhere to the theme at all. Like, we just don't feel like it, kind of a thing. And I hate that too, because the whole point is the theme. Like, these are themed boxes. Why are you doing this? I think that some of the other boxes, not Polish Pickup, but like some of the like Little Box of Horror and stuff like that, I'm not sure if they specifically, but you know, some of those smaller boxes, they will do this thing where everybody gets to like claim a kind of sub theme within that theme so that, you know, there's not all this overlap. And I like that. I wish maybe Polish Pickup would do something like that, because sometimes it's just like everybody does the same thing and you just feel kind of like, okay, cool. And I'm sure not everybody cares about that as much as I do. I'm just, like I said, I'm petty. My last two pet peeves are things that apply like directly to me. And the first one is when people tell me to use nail clips. Like, I know, okay? I know. Every time I like talk about like scrubbing glitter off or whatever, it's inevitable. I get a comment or a DM and they're like, you should try these nail clips. And I'm like, buddy, I have nail clips. I've tried nail clips. I know about the nail clips. Stop telling me about the nail clips. I know. And I know people are just trying to be helpful. Like, this is not like, this is a very unserious complaint. Like, I appreciate every comment I get. I appreciate when people DM me. I think it's really nice interacting with everybody. I've made so many friends from this platform, but it's like, I just hate the nail clips. Okay. I don't like the weird pinchy feeling on my finger. I hate when you go to the doctor and they do like the blood pressure thing where they clip it on your finger. I don't like that. I'm like, ew, get this off of me. I don't know why. I don't like having my hands touched very much. It's just like, it's like a thing I've always had. I don't like people touching my hands or my arms, and I don't like people touching my legs. Like, you can touch my head, you can touch my torso. I don't know why, but it's just like my hands and my feet and my legs and my arms, my extremities, if you will. Don't touch them. I don't know why. It's just like a weird heebie-jeebie feeling. I may have minor sensory issues. I don't know. But like, I just don't like it. And so while I agree, the clips are in fact the most efficient way to remove polish, and they work so well. And when I use them, when I work up the courage to put those darn clippies on my fingers, I never regret it. I just hate the feeling the whole time. And then one time, okay, why do they come in a pack of 10? Because I do them 10 at a time. And I posted like a video on Instagram of me like with all 10 of them on. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. And somebody was like, you're not supposed to do both hands at once. And I'm like, then why are there 10 in the pack? Why are there 10 in the pack if I'm not supposed to put them all on at the same time? I think you're supposed to do all 10 of them. That's just my opinion. And then my last pet peeve, and this is like literally the only one that I like seriously feel some kind of way about. Everything else is like, what? It's not that big of a deal. I'm over it already. But like with this one, I don't know why. I just feel so like violated when people do this. I hate when people point out that my nails are bare, that I don't have polish on. I hate it so much. I feel directly called out because over the past 10 years or so, I've become like, maybe not 10 years, maybe like 8 years. Over the past like almost a decade, I've kind of become like the nail polish lady, the nail polish girl, like in my real life, you know, and also here on YouTube. And so when like, there are times where I just am like going through it and I'm just like, I just don't even have it in me to paint my nails. It's kind of like, why are you pointing that out? Like, to me, it's the equivalent of like, if you talk to somebody who's always wearing makeup and then one day they're not wearing makeup and you're like, oh, you're not wearing makeup? It's like, it hits me like that. I'm like, oh, they noticed. they think I'm ugly because I don't have my nails painted. What? Like, it's so irrational, but I just hate when people point that out, because when I don't have my nails painted, it means one of three things. It means I'm incredibly busy and I haven't had the time to repaint them after they all chipped and I had to take it off. It means I just got done swatching a ton of stuff, which when you guys see me in a video and I don't have my nails painted, it's usually because what I do is I swatch a bunch of stuff and then I come to film. Like if a video needs swatches, that's what I do before I film. And then I film and I have nothing on my nails because I took off the last swatch. So it means I, secondly, just swatched a bunch of stuff and I haven't gotten the chance to paint my nails again. Or the third one, which is like the one that you don't want to explain to people, I'm depressed. Like, I'm not having a good time. I'm not having a Baja blast, you know? And so it's just like, I'm just too sad to paint my nails, you know? So those are like the three main reasons I wouldn't have painted my nails. And it's just like, how do you explain? I can't explain that to people in my day-to-day. They're like, oh, there's nothing on your nails. And you're like, yeah, I was really sad and I slept for 14 hours. Like that's not a conversation people want to have. It's weird. So, if you see me without paint on my nails, just keep it to yourself. Nobody needs to know. So yeah, those are my nail polish pet peeves. Silly, goofy, fun. We had a great time. Let me know your nail polish pet peeves down below, especially if it's something I do. Let me know. I want to know what things that I do that grind your gears a little bit. Because I remember the last one. I'll never forget this. Somebody posted, they were like, my nail polish pet peeve was when people refer to like nail polishes as she or her, like when you're like almost like personifying the nail polish. And I was laughing because I do that all the time. And I think it's so funny, like our just dumb little things that just get on our nerves for no reason. So let me know down below your nail polish pet peeves. I hope I didn't offend anybody with this video. It's just supposed to be fun and lighthearted. But with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.